Have you ever felt like this? I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do, and what I hate, I do. You know, Paul wrote this in Romans 7, verse 15, and I don't know that there's a better scripture that more accurately describes my personal and spiritual life, especially these last few years. You know, it's funny being a pastor, the expectations that people have on you and the idea they have. You know, the idea that I have of myself, of what I think. You know, I've long been frustrated with my relationship with God, with the lack of time that I spend with Him, how I let things just consume my time, how I'll intend to be with Him, and I'll end up doing emails or whatever it is. You know, for me it seems to be busyness that just kind of robs me of that. It sounds like an easy, casual, well, yeah, everybody has that problem. It's bigger than that. You know, I remember before I go there, I remember when I was an intern, I used to think, there was a stat that came out that said that the average pastor, I don't know how they knew this, but they said the average pastor prays about 5 minutes a day. And I remember thinking, that's horrible. How can the leaders leading the church spend such little time with God? And I'm never going to be that way. That's not going to be me. It's become me. You know, over these past few years, I'm embarrassed of my relationship with God, to be honest. I'm lucky to spend 2 days a week. And when I say time with God, I'm not talking about some flippant prayer that I toss up because I need to preach a sermon. I'm talking about sitting down, dedicated time where I'm building my relationship with Him, where I'm getting to know Him. And it's crazy because that verse is so right on. I don't understand what I do, because what I want to do is spend time with God, but what I hate, which is not spend time with God and do anything else, that's what I end up doing. And I get to the end of my day, and very often, almost every day, I'm frustrated with it. There's very rarely a day that goes by where I look back and think, man, I did everything I wanted to do today the way I wanted to do it. I said everything I wanted to say the way I wanted to say it. It doesn't happen. Most of my days, that statement would describe them. I don't understand what I do, because what I wanted to do today I didn't do. And all the things that I hate and that frustrate me, those are the things that I did. And a couple weeks ago, we were at this conference, and myself, Pastor Blake, Kate, Kelly, all of the staff, the Masters team, a lot of the Oxygen staff, Pastor Matt went. And it's a very, very challenging conference in a lot of ways, and it really hit me, the spiritual bankruptcy of my life right now. At the time, these 2 weeks ago, and how bankrupt my spiritual life had become. And I was angry and frustrated with myself, and at one point crying. I mean, like crying, like embarrassing little child, baby crying. I mean, it was awful. And I come to the realization, I don't have a relationship with God any longer. You know, God is what I use to do what He wants me to, but there's been zero consistency in that. And I was frustrated, I was angry, and I began to look up at this mountain of what I wanted to be, where I wished I was, you know, where if everything was ideal and everything was perfect and all of the things I used for excuses weren't there, I could remove them all, this is what it would look like. And I think we all have that picture of what it would look like if nothing hindered. And honestly, I was overwhelmed. You know, I'm going to read my journal entry here. It's crazy, because those who know me, you know that there's very few things in life I don't feel like I could do well at and conquer. Not because I'm great, but because I know who God is. And I always look at challenges and the opportunity to conquer a challenge. And reading back in my journal is crazy that I wrote this. I make all kinds of excuses why, but the reality is that flesh has taken over. No, I'm motivated to change. I honestly doubt that I can, or that I will. I doubt that I'll have the discipline to do it. My flesh has so consumed how I spend my time that the mountain seems too big to conquer. The crazy thing is that I never feel this way about anything. I always look at problems and have faith that I can win, but this is different. I failed so many times that I think the enemy has beaten me down so much that my faith has been damaged. And I remember writing that and really believing what I was writing. I really honestly didn't think that I could get back to where I wanted to be with God. I didn't think that I could win. I didn't think I could conquer my flesh. I'd made decisions that were based on my convenience for so long that I really honestly didn't think it could be won. I didn't think I'd be able to look back at my life at 75 years old. I also come to the thought that at 75, I'm going to have been a disconnected person with God. Because living a life deeply close to Him just seemed so impossible. And today, it's been 14 days now in a row that I have spent consistent, focused time with God, building my intimacy, my relationship with Him. And it's crazy. You know, I don't know the last time I've strung a 14-day span together, if I've done that. Honestly, I don't know that I've ever done that. If I have, I don't remember when. 14 days of success, of where I did what I wanted to do. And I was sitting here tonight driving home from going to this movie and just thought, you know, it feels so good right now to have actually accomplished something. Not even accomplished, because it's not like I accomplished anything with my relationship with God. But it's this thing, it's like, man, I set out to want something, and I'm making the decisions to get that. And the crazy part about it is, it's like, I never said I want to do 14 days. Here we are on day 14. You know what I did is I woke up the day after that conference. I said, today I'm going to spend time with God. I don't have faith that at 75 I'm going to be the man of God that I want to be, because I haven't proven that I can attain that yet. But today I can spend time with Him. Today I can do it. And then the next day, you know what I said? I woke up, I said, today I can spend time with Him. And 14 days later, I've done that every day, and I've now begun, and I look back and realize, man, I'm a little farther up that mountain than I thought I could be. I'm farther up that mountain than I thought was possible, but I had to realize I wasn't going to conquer the mountain in one day. It wasn't going to happen the day I got back from this conference. It's going to be over a lifetime. You don't get to the top of the mountain until you're at that point of 75, of 80, whatever it is. And I thought, man, you know, it's a profound thought. I don't know where you're at. I don't know what your struggle is. Maybe it's pornography, and it controls your life so powerfully, and you failed so much that you really don't think you can win. Maybe it's sexual addiction. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe, you know, I don't know what it is. And the thought of living a life of sexual purity is a absolute fear. You sit at the bottom of Mount Everest and think, no. You know, you don't got to worry about Mount Everest or how big the mountain is. God's not asking you to get to the top of the mountain today. He didn't ask me to get to the top. He's not asking me to get to the top of the mountain today. He's saying, can you give me a 24-hour commitment to do the right thing? So I want to ask you the same thing He asked me. He didn't say, hey, figure out how to get to the top of this mountain today. He said, can you spend time with me today? Can you, for one day, for 24 hours, make a commitment to not look at pornography? Can you make a 24-hour commitment to not have sex with somebody? Can you make a 24-hour commitment to not drink alcohol? To spend time with God? To pick up the Bible and give Him a dedicated half hour that nobody else gets to infringe upon? Can you make a 24-hour commitment? Because if you can figure out how to do today, when tomorrow comes, it will be today, and so you'll just figure out how to do today. If you can figure out how to do today, if I can, if we can, I believe that verse won't describe our relationships with God any longer. That we won't say, I don't understand what I do for what I want to do. I do not do, and what I hate I do. We string together enough victories, and before we know it, we're a conqueror. And that's what I'm working on today. And I'm pretty sure some of you are too. And so let's do today 24-hour commitments. Let's live life 24 hours at a time. Live it today. And anyway, sorry it's so long. Yeah, just let's do this thing, huh?